Welcome back to the Provincetown Art Association and Museum. Today we're going to be speaking about Alvin Ross, an exhibition that's currently on view through November 4th, 2007. Alvin Ross was born in New Jersey in 1920 and throughout his career studied art from a very early age, knowing that he wanted to be a painter. He went to the Tyler School of Fine Arts in Philadelphia, and he also studied at the Barnes Foundation in Marion, Pennsylvania. In 1944, he moved to New York City to study with a different variety of artists, and as part of his learning experience, he decided he would go to Europe. In 1973, Alvin Ross was elected president of the Provincetown Art Association and Museum. He fell in love with Provincetown and not only made a commitment to painting here, but also to be involved with the artistic community at large. His work is in many public and private collections, but we're thrilled to be able to have a true retrospective starting from the 40s all the way to his death in the mid-70s. Part of what was so amazing about Alvin Ross is that his use of light and object to create these most amazing still lifes, to the point where you can really reach in and have a piece of the coconut cake. That's such a wonderful picture that we have on view. In his own writing, Ross mentions the unity of opposites, and it's intriguing to see how he developed this concept, whether it's a smooth piece of fruit or a crumpled piece of paper. He achieves a certain balance within the composition using these objects that were very much a part of his growing up in his daily life. The objects that he depicts in the pictures are actually the toaster that was in the kitchen or the coffee pot that his grandmother made coffee in. So it was a lot of his work was directly related to real objects and real things, whether he was in his own home or in someone else's home, whether he was walking down a street or on a bus. Many of the subjects of his paintings were things that were true to life and that were things that he couldn't get out of his mind. You can see even with the figures, early on, his figures are these very elongated, thin, mostly male figures that move into these almost dynamic, larger women. And from what his sister tells us, that they were based on his relationship with his grandmother. So you can see his very diverse style when depicting figures, although he claims that his strongest work was definitely his still life painting. Many of the objects you'll see, like the picture of the radiator, is actually, the painting itself is included in another painting. So he was very meticulous about themes that he would use over and over again, but also the colors and his palette were also very consistent throughout, using these browns and almost like these earth tone backgrounds, but then putting in these very bright green apples, for example, or red apples, or blueberry muffins or strawberries. So he was very much concerned with color, and the compositions reflect his balance between color and composition. But they're also known for their very elegant feel, small versus large. You'll see a pair of eyeglasses or a pressure cooker, and there's an elegance about a pressure cooker that you probably normally would not notice. One of the things that we wanted to do with the show was actually find the objects that he had painted, as some still exist, but the toaster blew up and some of the other pieces had been sold at a tag sale, so we weren't able to get our hands on them, but these were real life objects that he had used to paint. In Ross's artist statement on method, he claims that most of his paintings include preliminary work ranging from almost illegible shorthand pencil sketches to a completely scaled, smaller version of the final picture. However, his still lifes are mainly painted directly without any preliminaries. These are things that he would just paint straight on from the object. His paintings are generally begun on a tone ground from which the picture is built up from the value concept to the final color stage. He used standard oil paints. Sometimes he would use some charcoal within, but for the most part, he was a pretty standard oil painter. The ideas for his paintings were taken from situations, quote unquote, which I have seen, experienced, or drawn directly from life. My paintings are conceived in a variety of ways, drawing directly upon nature of a subject seen or experienced, recording through sketches and watercolors, memorizing a situation or experience seen, long stretches of drawing, practically doodling to search for themes and schemes, by creating abstractions or abstract patterns for the possibility of determining construction of a composition. Sometimes the subject may be one I saw from a bus, from my studio window, in the studio, after dinner, upon arising. In short, at any moment in all places, Even themes which are literary, historical, or mythological often offer a tempting challenge quite as much as any commission. So it's clear through the laundry on the floor or the self-portrait of Alvin in his bathrobe. He was very concerned with realistic things. He was also very much supported by his family, and within this show we have not only a self-portrait of Alvin himself, but a picture of his mother, his father, and his sister, who were very supportive since an early age of elementary school to encourage him to be a painter. Included within the exhibition is one painting of peonies by his sister Lenore and a sculpture of a praying Jew by his mother Sonia. One of the other reasons why we've had this exhibition of Alvin Ross is that during our recent construction and renovation project, the new wing is named the Alvin Ross Wing, to actually honor Ross for what he offered not only to the Art Association but to the artistic community in Provincetown. So for us to have the Alvin Ross retrospective in the Alvin Ross Wing is really a terrific opportunity for us to let the rest of the world have a glimpse into a brilliant painter.